The pastor lifted the microphone and said, "Now, the bride will say her vows." My veil was over my face, my bouquet was wet in my palm, and my groom was smiling like nothing was wrong. But inside my glove, my phone was shaking with a message from the one woman I was told to fear. My name is Amara, and until that morning, I believed my wedding would be the proudest day of my life. The hall in Lekki was dressed in white and gold. Fresh roses stood on every table. The air smelled of jollof rice, perfume, and new paint. My mother's jail was so wide it touched my cheek when she hugged me. My father wore his best agbada and kept telling every uncle, "Today, my daughter is entering a good home." I wanted to believe him. My groom Tunde was the kind of man people praised before they knew him well. He worked in an office on Victoria Island. He drove a clean black car. He prayed loudly in church and sent money to his mother every month. When he proposed, the video went everywhere in our family WhatsApp groups. People called me blessed. But love with Tunde always came with small rules. Do not post too much. Do not visit certain friends. Do not answer his calls late. If I complained, he said, "Amara, I am protecting what we have." I swallowed those words because the room was bright and the families were already dancing. 2 weeks before the wedding, my friend Ifeoma warned me. She said she had seen Tunde at a hotel lounge in Ikeja with his ex, Bisi. I laughed too fast. I told her, maybe it was work. That night, I asked Tunde. He looked hurt. He held my chin and said, "So, you trust gossip over your husband?" I begged him, even though I was the one shaking. On the wedding morning, my bridesmaids filled my room with noise. Someone sprayed perfume near the mirror. Someone shouted that the makeup artist was late. My little cousin was eating meat pie on my white bed sheet. I sat there in my lace dress, listening to my heartbeat under the tight corset. Then, my phone buzzed. The message was from BC. I almost deleted it. The first line said, "Please do not marry him without knowing." Attached were screenshots, bank transfers, and one voice note. My fingers went cold. In the voice note, Tunde was laughing softly. He said, "After the wedding, the house in Amara's name will help us get the loan. She will sign. She trusts me." Then BC's voice asked, "And what about me?" Tunde said, "Be patient. This marriage is family business." I felt the room move away from me. The makeup artist was asking me to look up. My auntie was saying the live stream link had started. Outside, drums were beating as the groom's family entered the compound. I wanted to scream, but no sound came. I walked into the bathroom and locked the door. The tiles were cold under my bare feet. I played the note again, hoping I heard wrong. I did not. There were chats too. He had promised BC a flat after the wedding. He had used my savings, the money I kept from my design business, to pay part of his debt. The transfer names were hidden, but the dates were clear. Each date matched a day he had begged me to support our future. A knock came. It was my mother. "Amara, people are waiting." Her voice was soft, but I could hear fear inside it. Weddings are not just two people in our world. They are parents, pastors, aunties, chiefs, friends, cameras, money, food, and pride. I opened the door and showed her the phone. She read in silence. Her lips moved, but no words came. Then, she said the sentence that broke me more than the message. "Can we handle it after the service?" I stared at her red eyes. She was not wicked. She was afraid. Afraid of shame. Afraid of refunding money. Afraid people would say her daughter could not keep a man. I almost nodded. Then another knock came. It was Ifeoma. She had heard enough through the door. She took my hand and said, "No, Amara, you are not walking into prison because the hall is decorated." Those words stayed with me. In the church, the choir was singing when I entered. Everyone stood up. Phones rose like small mirrors. The camera light hit my veil. Tunde looked handsome in his cream agbada. His smile shook for 1 second when he saw my face. I walked slowly. Each step sounded loud to me. My father's hand was warm around mine. At the altar, Tunde whispered, "Why are you pale?" I said, "Because truth has color." He frowned. The pastor opened his book. The MC near the aisle whispered to the live stream man. Children played with flower petals under the first row. My mother sat stiff, holding tissue in both hands. Then the pastor asked for my vows. That was the moment. I could save everybody from shame. I could smile, say sweet words, sign papers, and cry later. Or I could open my mouth and let the perfect day fall apart. Tunde leaned closer. "Amara, behave," he whispered. It was not a plea. It was a command. Something inside me became still. I lifted my veil myself. The church became quiet. I turned, not to the pastor, but to the guests. My voice shook at first. Before I make vows before God and family, I need one truth to be heard. Tunde grabbed my wrist, smiling hard. "She is emotional," he said. I pulled free. Ifeoma stood up from the second row. To my shock, Bisi stood beside her. She had come in plain blue Ankara, with no makeup and tired eyes. People gasped. Tunde stepped back like he had seen fire. I held up my phone. This man planned to use this marriage to take my property and cover his debt. He kept another woman close and called our wedding family business. The hall exploded. His mother shouted, "Lie!" My father stood so fast his chair fell. The pastor took the phone from my hand, played the voice note near the microphone, and Tunde's own laugh filled the church. No one moved. Even the drums outside stopped. Bisi cried and said, "I was wrong too," but I could not let her enter blind. For the first time, I saw her not as my enemy, but as another woman he had used. Tunde tried to speak, but every word sounded small. I removed my ring. It felt heavy, then suddenly light. I placed it on the open Bible and said, "There will be no vows today." I walked down the aisle alone, not running, not hiding, just walking. My lace train dragged over crushed rose petals and spilled zobo near the door. Behind me, the church was full of noise, but my heart was quiet. Outside, the sun was bright on the parked cars. The live stream was still on, showing my empty place at the altar. Later, people talked. Some blamed me. Many called me brave. My father apologized with tears in his beard. My mother held my hand for a long time without speaking. I started my business again with what I had left. Bisi sent me one message months later. It said, "Thank you for standing." I did not lose a husband that day. I lost a lie. And the last image I keep is not Tunde's face. It is my white veil hanging on the church gate, moving in the Lagos wind, free from my head at last.